Hi guys, welcome to my affordable watch collection. My name is Aviv, and today we are going to take a look at a modern take at a vintage Chinese watch, a mechanical hand-wound dress watch from Merkur, a reissue of the first Chinese watch made for the Red Army. This watch was sent to the channel from Merkur for free to review, and I don't have to give it back, so keep that in mind as you watch this video. But rest assured that next to all the specs and measurements, you are going to get my own honest opinion of this watch. I am going to point out the cons as well as the pros. Merkur is actually a family of a few different Chinese brands. They produce and sell watches under Merkur, FOD, Pierre Paulin, Red Star, and a few more brand names. They make different types of watches, like divers, pilots, and so on, and focus on delivering quality watches in affordable prices. According to Merkur, this is supposed to be a reissue of the first Chinese wristwatch made for the Red Army, or a homage to that watch. It is listed on their website for $99, and you also get a free strap when you order it. I do have a $40 discount code that will sweeten the deal for you, so stick around if you're interested in that. Let's get the measurements so we know what we are looking at here. The width of the case is 38 mm. Its thickness is 12 mm, including the protruding crystal. The distance between the lugs is 20 mm. Lug tip to lug tip is 45, and the watch weighs 70 grams. It is water resistant to just 30 meters, which is not ideal, but okay for a dress watch. The dial is a really nice cream or even champagne color. It curves down at the edge, where it also has a black printed minute track with numbers every 5 minutes. It has applied and highly polished golden indices, Arabic numerals to mark the even hours, and arrowheads to mark the odds. A red star with a gold trim is applied under the 12 o'clock marker, and 19 jewels waterproof watch printed in black Chinese characters beneath that. Above the 6 o'clock marker, printed in black as well, made in China. The dolphin style hands are golden as well and seem to be just the right length. They are flat and have a coarse brushed finish. There's no lume anywhere on the dial or hands, which is acceptable on a dressier piece like this one. There are also no complications other than the 3 hands telling the time. Covering the dial is a high domed mineral glass. I'm not sure if it has any anti-reflective coating applied on it, but the reflections you do get are not too harsh that you can't read the time when the light hits it. The domed shape of the crystal gives the already curved dial a nice and distinct distortion, just like you would find on a true vintage piece. The case is made of 316L stainless steel and features a mixture of brushed and polished finishes. The tops of the lugs are finely brushed, and the sides of the case and the thin fixed bezel are highly polished. The quality of the finishing seems to be pretty good for the price point. When we look at the side profile, we can really appreciate just how high that high domed crystal really is, and also how low the lugs angle down, all the way below the case back. On the 3 o'clock position there's a small crown, signed with an engraved star. It is not protected with crown guards, and it has some knurling for good grip. This is a push-pull crown, twist it up to wind the movement, and pull it out to set the time. The watch features a stainless steel case back. It has a 10 facets design on the edge and some engraved information. On the top arch it says Zhong Gao Ji Zhao in pinyin, which is a way to present Chinese pronunciation in Roman characters, which means made in China. Between the 2 stars in the center, it says made in China again, this time in Chinese, and on the bottom arch it says all stainless steel, anti-shock. The watch is powered by a Chinese Hangzhou SL07. a hand-wound mechanical movement with 19 joules like indicated on the dial. It beats at 21,600 beats per hour, has 30 hours of power reserve once it's fully wound, and as you might have noticed, it doesn't hack. That means that the second hand keeps sweeping when you pull the crown out to set the time. Each movement is being further regulated by Merkur before the watch leaves their factory, and according to them, it should be accurate to 0 to plus 15 seconds per day. The watch comes on a 1970s style flexible stainless steel bracelet. These are basically individual folded links held together with springs. It is highly polished and has sort of a wave texture that makes it look like there's a 3D strap going the entire length of the bracelet. It is not adjustable from what I can tell, unlike the Speidel Twisto Flex of back in the day, meaning that you can take links out to make the watch fit better on your wrist. It doesn't taper either. It is 19.5 millimeters wide all around, and it doesn't have a clasp. And another thing, this is a serious hair puller. I don't know if people in the 70s had less arm hair. They probably didn't, but this thing is torture. And here is the wrist shot for you. Well, this is probably the most uncomfortable strap I ever wore. It is both too big for my 7-inch wrist, and it pulls on my hair on every move I make. But once you take it off the bracelet, this is such a good looking watch, and it becomes so much more comfortable to wear. The bracelet might be okay if you have a larger wrist than mine, size-wise anyway, but if your wrist is 8-inch or smaller, unless there's a way to resize it that I haven't found yet, it is just too big and practically unwearable. Once it's on a nice strap, its beauty really pops. The size and the proportions of the case look great in my opinion, a bit larger than actual vintage pieces, to fit the modern watch market. The way the lugs curve down make it conform very well to the wrist. Now let's take a look at some pros and cons of this watch. Starting with the cons, I think that today they are pretty obvious. The first and main downfall of this watch is that stretching bracelet. I'm not sure what they were thinking. I mean, it might help with the retro look, but this thing is better left in the 70s. This issue is easily solvable by just taking it off and putting the watch on a nicer strap, and with the 20mm lug width, it shouldn't be a problem to find something you like. Next con is the crystal. Although it looks really cool and period correct, mineral glass is my least favorite crystal material. I would much prefer having a domed sapphire crystal here, or even an acrylic one. Sapphire is more expensive, but more scratch resistant, and acrylic is cheaper, and when it does get scratched, it's easier to buff the scratches out with some poly watch. I guess that for the price of this watch, a mineral crystal is what you should expect. So what do I like about this watch, and would I buy it myself? Well, the quick answer is yes, and in fact, I already had it in my shopping cart when I was contacted by Merkur. I just love the vintage look of it. I think the champagne dial looks great, and the 38mm size is perfect for me. I knew in advance that I was going to take it off that bracelet anyway, so that didn't hit me that bad. I love the black minute track and the applied gold indices, and as a whole, this watch reminds me a lot of another Chinese favorite of mine, the Seagull 1963, which is one of my favorite watches. Other than that, a mechanical hand-wind only movement with no date complication is probably my favorite configuration of them all, and I always said that if I ever made a watch of my own, it would be a hand-wound only, no date watch, just like this one. The movement inside this watch is a great example of a modern mechanical one, with a modern bit rate of 21,600 and a modern build quality. Hangzhou is positioned at the higher end of Chinese movement manufacturers, so I'm happy with Merkur's decision to go with one of their movements. If you're interested in picking one of these up for yourselves, I'll leave a link to Merkur's official website in the description of this video for you, and make sure you use code MAWC to get $40 off when you check out. That will apply to anything you want to purchase from Merkur's website. I'll also leave links to some strap options for you, so make sure you check those out as well. These will be affiliate links though. They won't cost you anything extra, but will be a great way for you to help support this channel. Another way for you to show your support is to give this video a thumbs up and to subscribe to my affordable watch collection and hit the notification bell so you can enjoy more of my affordable watches related content. You can also follow me on Instagram, where you can get to know me and my collection a little bit better, get all the news about the channel, and connect with me on a personal level. If you enjoyed this video, you might enjoy one of these too as well. I want to thank Merkur for sending this watch in for review, and to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you next time.